Hello and welcome to my online class. My name is Miss Kathy Hutto. And in today's class, we're going to learn how to write a paragraph using the Hamburger Method. So let's get started. So first of all, what is a paragraph? Well, a paragraph is when you put a group of sentences together and they're all about a topic. There are some different parts to a paragraph, just like there are different parts to a hamburger. Let's talk about those different parts now. So for a hamburger, you have a bun at the top and you have a bun at the bottom, and they're kind of alike, aren't they? They're both made of bread. One is just a little different than the other, but they're very, very similar. And that's the same with our paragraph. The top introductory sentence introduces the main idea of the paragraph. It lets your reader know what the paragraph is going to be about. The very last sentence, the concluding sentence, is kind of like that top sentence. It just summarizes the main idea. In other words, it takes that top introductory sentence, changes the wording just a little bit, and restates it. Now, inside the buns, there are usually lettuce, tomato, the hamburger patty. So for the paragraph, we call these the detail sentences. They provide the supporting information. So for a 5-sentence paragraph, you're going to have 3 detail sentences. So here is the entire paragraph. 1, an introductory sentence. 2, 3, and 4, 3 details about the topic. And 5, you're going to restate the introductory sentence. Just move the words around. Just say it in a different way. All right, let's take a look at an example. And this paragraph is going to be about my cat. Number 1, remember, is the introductory sentence. It's going to tell what this is about. My cat is Max. My cat is named Max. Now remember, there will be 3 detail sentences next. They're going to tell about the topic. So I'm writing about my pet Max, so I'm going to tell you about him. He is fluffy and gray. Max likes to sleep on my bed, and sometimes he chases after toy mice. And then that last sentence is going to be the conclusion sentence. It's going to restate the first one in just a little different way. I love my pet cat named Max. Now, if you don't use the hamburger graphic, once you write this on your own notebook paper, it's going to look kind of like this. And let's look at this now and see if we can pick out all those parts. So it's great to use the hamburger graphic. That helps you to get all those different parts written out separately. But when you recopy your paragraph, it'll look like this, and we can pick out the different parts. You can see I circled my cat is named Max. That's the introductory sentence. He is fluffy and gray. That's one thing about Max, one detail sentence. Max likes to sleep on my bed. That's the second detail sentence. Tells you more about Max. Sometimes he chases after toy mice. That's your third detail sentence. And then finally, I love my pet cat, Max. I just retold that first introductory sentence in just a little bit different way. But basically, I said the same thing here. Let's look at another example. This paragraph is about my hobby. My favorite hobby is drawing. That's the introductory sentence. It tells you what this is going to be about. It's going to be about my hobby, which is drawing. I use colored pencils. Sometimes I draw rivers and mountains. I also like to draw animals. So these are the 3 detail sentences. I feel happy when I'm drawing. I just basically restated that my favorite hobby is drawing, and I just said it in a different way. It makes me happy. Now, don't forget the extras. So in this next section, we're going to talk about how you can make your paragraph even better. Just like you can make your hamburger better by adding ketchup and mustard, cheese, bacon, pickles, onions. We're going to add adjectives and more details to make our paragraph better. Let's start at the top. My favorite hobby is drawing. Now let's look at those detailed sentences. Here I said, I use pastel colored pencils and paper to create pictures. Now let's look at how our sentence was before. I just said, I use colored pencils. Well, now I've added that I use pastel colored pencils and paper to create pictures. You can tell that I added much more detail to that sentence. Let's look at the next one. Sometimes I draw tall mountains and rushing rivers. Now let's look at our sentence before. It said, sometimes I draw rivers and mountains. So you can see that I added some adjectives. I added tall mountains and rushing rivers. That makes my paragraph sound so much better, doesn't it? All right, let's take a look at the next sentence. I also like to draw animals like cats, dogs, and birds. Let's take a look at our original sentence. I also like to draw animals. So you see, I added the kinds of animals I like to draw: cats, dogs, and birds. I added more details. Let's look at the last sentence. I feel happy and relaxed when I am drawing. That's my concluding sentence. It kind of restates that I'm talking about my hobby, but it adds a little more detail. Let's look at the original sentence. I feel happy when I am drawing. I feel happy and relaxed when I am drawing. I just added more detail. This is what my paragraph might look like without the hamburger graphic. Now I'm just recopying it onto a piece of paper. My favorite hobby is drawing. I use colored pencils and paper to create pictures. Sometimes I draw landscapes with mountains and rivers. Other times I draw animals like cats and birds. I feel happy and relaxed when I'm drawing. So this is a solid paragraph. I've included an introductory sentence, 3 detail sentences with adjectives and more detail, and a conclusion sentence. Now, don't forget, there are some things you need to check for if you want your paragraph to be really perfect. You want to make sure that you check for capitalization. That means capitalizing the first letter in every one of your sentences, and any proper nouns like Max, that was the name of my cat. The name of people or pets need to be capitalized. The first letter needs to be capitalized. So check for those things. Next, order. I want to make sure that my paragraph is in the correct order. Introductory sentence, 3 detail sentences, concluding sentence. Next, P stands for punctuation. I want to make sure that I put commas where they need to be and a period at the end of each sentence, or exclamation point or question mark, whatever punctuation mark I need. And then finally, S is for spelling. I want to reread my paragraph and make sure that I've spelled every word correctly. Now it's your turn. It's your turn to practice writing a paragraph using the Hamburger Method. You can do it. It's easy. Here are some topic ideas. Sometimes the hardest part of writing a paragraph is just coming up with the topic. So I've made that part at least a little bit easier for you. Here's some things you might want to write about. My favorite pet. Describe a pet that you have or would like to have. Talk about its appearance, behavior, and why you like it. How about writing about a day at the park? Write about a time that you visited the park. Describe what you did there, what you saw, and how you felt. Maybe you want to write about your best friend. Describe your best friend. Talk about their personality, what you like to do together, and why they are special to you. You might want to write about your favorite food. Describe its taste, how it looks, and why you enjoy eating it. Maybe you want to choose to write about your family. Describe your family members. Talk about who they are, what they do, and what you like doing with them. You could write about a rainy day. Describe a rainy day. Talk about what you did indoors, how the rain sounded, how it made you feel. Maybe you want to write about your school. Talk about your favorite subjects, teachers, and activities you enjoy there. You could write about a visit to the zoo. Describe the animals you saw, which one was your favorite, and what you learned. You could write about your favorite season. There are 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Which one is your favorite? Describe the weather, activities you do during that season, and why you like it. Maybe you want to write about a birthday party you attended, or maybe your own birthday party. Talk about who was there, what you did, and how much fun you had. You can see that in this topic list, I've given you 3 details that you can use for your detail sentences. For example, go back to the first one. It says, my favorite pet. And here I've said you can talk about what your pet looks like, what he acts like, and why you like him. So use this topic idea list to help you to decide what you want to write about, and then go for it. After you practice writing paragraphs and you feel like you're really good at it, you might want to look for my essay writing class next. We also use the same Hamburger method to expand upon our paragraphs and write a whole essay. See you next time. Happy writing!